My name is Emily, and I wasn't mentioned in my mother's will, but I had something far more powerful. The room was too quiet. Even the tick of the antique grandfather clock sounded like thunder in the lawyer's office. I sat there, my palms damp, my eyes fixed on the polished oak table. Daniel, my older brother, looked like he was already celebrating. He leaned back in his chair, wearing that smug expression he'd perfected over the years. Mr. Carter, our family lawyer, cleared his throat and began to read. This is the last will and testament of Margaret Ainsley. Line after line, everything went to Daniel. The house, the family business, the antique jewelry. Not a single word about me. Not even a mention. I felt like I had been slapped. I had spent the last year taking care of our mother while Daniel sent flowers and occasional texts. He hadn't been there during the chemo, the hospital runs, or the nights she couldn't sleep. But here he was, reaping every reward. The lawyer folded the will and gave a polite smile. That concludes the reading. But I didn't move. I reached into my purse and pulled out a sealed envelope. There's one more thing, I said. Our mother gave this to me. She said to hand it to you when the will was read. Mr. Carter took the envelope carefully. It had Mom's handwriting. He frowned. Daniel raised an eyebrow. What is this? Something she wanted you to hear, I said. It was 3 weeks before she passed. Mom had called me into her bedroom. She looked weak, her voice no louder than a whisper. Em, listen to me carefully. I need you to hold on to something. But don't open it. Don't even read it. Just give it to Mr. Carter when the time comes. What is it? I asked. She pressed a letter into my hand, sealed with wax. Trust me. Back in the office, Mr. Carter slid open the envelope and unfolded the letter. He adjusted his glasses and began to read. If Daniel is hearing this, he has already lied to you. Daniel's head snapped toward the lawyer. Mr. Carter continued, I know what you did, Daniel. I know you manipulated me when I was at my weakest. You convinced me that Emily didn't care. You twisted my mind against her when all she ever did was love me. Daniel stood up. That's not true. Mr. Carter held up a hand. Let me finish. The letter continued, but I am not as naive as you think. I created a backup. One you didn't know about. Mr. Carter has it. If this letter is being read, he will now know what to do. Mr. Carter set down the letter and opened his briefcase. There is, in fact, a second file, he said calmly. Your mother gave it to me personally, 3 months before her passing. He pulled out a red folder, embossed with the family crest. Inside were notarized documents. A new trust. A separate bank account. A second deed, to a lake house none of us even knew she still owned. And all of it? Left to me. This is absurd. Daniel barked. That has to be fake. She never mentioned any of this. Because she knew you'd do exactly what you did, I said. She wanted to see if you'd prove her wrong. There's more, Mr. Carter added. This clause states that Daniel's inheritance becomes conditional upon good behavior. If he attempts to contest, he forfeits everything. Daniel went pale. Chapter 4, The Real Inheritance. Daniel tried to laugh it off. You think this changes anything? I still got the business. The house. Wrong again, Mr. Carter said. This document supersedes the previous will due to its date and notarization. Everything has been transferred to Emily, with one exception. Daniel blinked. What? You will receive a monthly allowance, controlled by your sister. He exploded. She can't control my life. Mom thought otherwise, I replied. And so did the law. He stormed out, slamming the door behind him. But it didn't matter. The damage was done. Not by me. By him. Chapter 5, What She Really Left Behind. Weeks passed. I stood in the lake house, the sun casting gold across the water. It was peaceful. Quiet. Full of the warmth my mother always brought. I opened the letter again, reading her final words. You were always the quiet one. But you listened. You were kind. You never asked for anything. And that's why I gave you everything that matters. I wiped a tear. The phone buzzed. It was Daniel. His message, let's talk. I think we can work something out. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. He inherited what he thought mattered. But I inherited what truly did. You inherited the money, Daniel, I whispered. But I inherited Mom's trust.